Hey, this is Alex Becker. I'm the guy from the page you might have seen before this. You might have seen me in an ad. I don't know how you got here, but I'm going to deliver on exactly why you're here. I'm going to show you how I scaled one of my side businesses from 100K a month to well past $1 million a month using lossless attribution maps and AI print training. Now, I'm going to explain both of those things here in a second. Nobody's doing them, and it gives you such a massive advantage. It actually allows you to do stuff like this. And again, this is one of my side businesses. This is not my main business. So if we hop over here in my AdWords account, I want to put my money where my mouth is first. You can see right here, here's the cold hard numbers. Here's 1 month in AdWords. I spent $586,000, did 1.4 million back, and this is through 3 different payment processors. Let's cut out 400,000 of that. If we just go to one of my payment processors, which is Stripe right here, here's us doing over $1 million a month in sales for that same month right there. I'm not going to log in the PayPal and all my other processors, so just let's cut that down by almost a third and just work with this money right here as our baseline. But what I'm doing in my business isn't really relevant here. It's the attribution maps and AI print training I'm using that allows me to scale like that while still maintaining a significant 2 to 3x ROI. And what I'm about to show you here super applies if you're doing info marketing or education marketing, e-commerce or organic or influencer marketing. This is going to declutter all the wires and make scaling like I just did right here, like I've done in my business, a very straightforward process. And the reason for this is the common practice inside the ad industry is totally wrong. What ad gurus and people that say they're really good at ads have been saying is not the truth. And I don't even know that. That's the problem. Look, ad targeting and tactics and strategy, it's for suckers. What I'm going to show you right here, even if you are a subpar media buyer, you'll be able to wipe the floor with people that are super focused on tactics, strategy, and advanced tactics on Facebook and AdWords. And to prove this, I'll eat those words. If you make it to the end of this super short presentation, it's very short, I'll give you an entire advertising course that I sell for $9.97 that gives you all the ad tactics, all the scripts, all the sales funnels behind that ad campaign I just showed you. You will literally go into my AdWords account. You will go into the targeting. You will go into the demographics. You will watch me scale the campaigns from $0 to $300 a day, $300 to $1,000 a day, $1,000 to $5,000, $5,000 to $20,000 per day. You will see it all. And I stress that this is a full-fledged course. These are 30 to 40-minute videos taking you behind everything I'm doing inside the account, inside the ad buying, the bidding, everything. And on top of that, there's absolutely nothing for sale in this presentation. There's not some hook to get you sold something. It's some hook to deliver value to you. Because you've just noticed my business for the first time if you're watching this probably. And the best way to keep you around is to give you more value than you've ever gotten before. So that's exactly what I'm going to do in this presentation by giving you what I consider to be the absolute key here. And I've done this in my business. I've done this with other businesses like Billy Jeans right here. He's an info marketer, massive agency as well. We were able to increase their attribution by 40 to 50%. We've done this with massive agencies like my buddy Evan right here. He owns a massive influencer agency. We're able to go and point out almost 40% in misattribution on Facebook. We've done this with John Penberthy in his info webinar. We're able to show so many sales were being missed in AdWords. We did this with Matt Smith. He's making over $20,000 to $30,000 a day from his Shopify stores. We're able to help him see exactly where those sales are coming from and then start scaling those. And I see this every single day in all these business models. Here's Ben right here. He's running a $6,000 per day e-commerce store. Or Mattis right here. 13 sales showed up in Facebook. 30 sales were actually reported in the tracking system I'm about to show you right here. And it just goes on and on and on. When you're working with inaccurate data, when you're not feeding this data back to your pixels and AIs, you're just not going to be able to scale. And I'll explain why here in a second. And the reason why I can say that is just quick intro. My name is Alex Becker. I'm the CEO of a tech company called Hyros. We are leaders in attribution and actually training of pixels and all the stuff I talked about. That's why I know all these things about this. I'm a USA Today bestselling author. Over 600,000 entrepreneurs follow me on YouTube and Instagram. And I regularly spend $200,000 to $500,000 per month on ads. Now you can ignore all those cool resume buzzwords. The reason why I can say and tell you all this is because I used to have the biggest struggle scaling my business past 50 to 100K a month in ad spend. It just wouldn't work. Every time I started scaling up, the ads stopped working. The CPL got too high. The conversions went down. Something went wrong. And I would constantly see people scaling way farther than me. And I was like, why? How do they do this? My copy is good. My products are good. I know every single ad strategy in the book, what is going wrong here. And what I'm about to show you is exactly how I broke past that. And the way I broke past this wall came from 3 simple steps. Step number 1 was stop killing or stalling winning ads. so many clients that come on the hyros, I constantly see them not scaling their ads that are getting 600, 500% ROIs because they can't see which ads are doing that. The second step is turn off ads that are losers. Almost every single client I see that comes on the hyros, including even my business, about 20 to 30% of ad spend is completely being wasted. There are so many ads that are being reported as winners or being kept alive during testing because you can't see they're losers, or they're reporting as break even when they're losing gargantuan amounts of money. And I'll show you exactly where this is in Facebook, AdWords, and every other platform. And then the biggest key of all, one of the biggest things you can do is pass this data back to your ads so you can train your AI pixels accurately. When you do this, you're going to see them get substantially better at finding you customers, and this allows you to get customers much cheaper than your competitors, much cheaper than you're paying right now, and that opens up so much more profit margin for you to scale with. And look, I can't show you my client's data, but I can show you my data all day. And I'm going to show you how I applied these 3 simple steps in my business. I'm going to show you exactly how to get this tracking set up, how to do everything I just showed you right now. So what I'm going to do is I need to show you the first step. The first thing we must do is we must stop killing our winning ads. We must stop stalling them. We must be able to clearly see exactly which ads are really generating the sales and scale those to the moon, and only those. We cannot afford to try and scale or spend money on ads that aren't generating those massive ROIs. So we must be able to see the massive ROIs. Here's exactly how you do this and where the huge gap is in virtually every business that I look at, including my own back in the day. So let me show you to do this live in my own account. So if we go into AdWords and let's just throw it in on June 18th and June 19th, okay? And when I go and load this up, you can see I have $10,000 in conversion value that day, a total of $13,000. My conversion value on the main product that's being sold here is $2,000. And so what you can see on these days is the cost of these ads right here was $13,000. Some of my ad campaigns are turned off at this campaign. It was $13,000, and I made $13,000 back right here. This is not a great day. This is not a great day. I'm going to show you where the huge broken bone is. It's sticking out. There's blood spurting everywhere. Here it is. Because AdWords only caught 6 sales right here. On this day, if we go into my tracking account with the loss of attribution I'm using right here, this is the same exact dates, 18th and 19th, there was 22 sales. Okay, I'm not going to count these all out for you right here, but there was a total of 44,000, actually between $44,000 and $50,000 in gross sales that day. Now, I want to point one thing out right here. I'm running a webinar funnel that's very hard to track because people are changing their mobile phones, they're changing their devices, they're changing their IPs, their cookies are being cleared off. For example, when a person is on an iPhone, every single time they load a new page in Safari, their cookies are cleared, so it's kind of hard for a lot of tracking pixels to track them. Across all this, I'm still able to track through that webinar when people are buying days after when they click the initial ad, and I'm not missing a single sale right here. That's what I want to point out right there. And so here's the big problem. I can clearly see where all my sales are coming from right here, and I'll show how to optimize around this in a second. But in AdWords, if I come in here, I cannot see where my sales are coming from. Now, this isn't a problem with AdWords. This isn't actually Google's fault. They don't have all the data they need to do this. It's your job to pass the data back to them. All right, it's your number one job to pass the data back to them, to help them with this so they can train the pixel better. It's not Google's fault. It's not Facebook's fault. Their tracking is awesome. It's just so limited because it's being blocked by every angle, by Apple. Google's blocking each other. It's just a mess. It's just a mess of what's going on over there. And they don't have the entire data. They're not plugged into your entire business the way they need to be. And if they were trying to do that, can you imagine the customer support that would be involved? It's hard enough for them to even respond to everybody using their ad platform who's spending $10,000, $50,000 a month. That doesn't even qualify to have a dedicated support person. There's no way they could manage tracking at the level it needs to be at, and it wouldn't even be profitable for them. So that's one of the reasons why you need to be helping them with the pixel data right here. Now, I want to show you how to optimize around this and all the ninja stuff I can do with this. But let's first agree, this is a hell of a problem right here. And the only way I could solve it originally is I had to spend $30,000 to $40,000 of my own money making a really, really ghetto-rigged system. It was very ugly. And it was based on a 5-point tracking system that used print tracking, and it was mapped throughout my entire business, the processor, the checkout, the email opt-ins, the webinars. It was plugged into everything. And at the end of this call, I'll get into the 5-point tracking. I'll get into all the sciencey stuff. I'll get into why it's plugging into more places than Facebook and Google. And again, it's not really Facebook or Google's fault. It's your job to pass this data back to them. That's why they allow you to send conversions in. That's why they have the click IDs. That's why they allow you to do that in the first place. However, I want to show you how to use this data first. So first off, if you want to grow your business, this is how I grew my business. You got to be able to spot your winners. So check this out. Check out this audience right here. SEO intent right here. No sales. Big loser. I lost $268. Go check out this one right here, converter sales right here. On these days, I lost $600. No sales. These are both ad campaigns I'd turn off in a heartbeat. The problem is that these campaigns, if we go look at SEO intent right here, this generated a 600% ROI that day. Generated me $19.97 cash for $268. That's great. I don't want to be turning that off. Then we go and look at SEO converters right here. Okay, I go look at this one. Converter sales. This generated me a payment plan worth $3,000. Another almost 500% ROI right here. If I'm turning off these campaigns, I'm doing the basic sin of not scaling your campaigns. I'm turning off winners. And every single client I see that comes through hyros is doing this. They're turning off their winners. Or at bare minimum, they're not scaling it. So for example, in my past, my strategy was like either turn these off, or if I think it's getting sales, like leave it on. And that results in some really nasty things. Because first off, I'm never going to go hard on my winners because I'm not sure they're actually winning. Secondly, I'm not going to see my winners, so I'm not going to scale my winners. Therefore, I'm not going to scale. And then also, when I can't really see my sales, another big problem happens. You end up scaling ads that you think are probably working or might be working, and you're definitely not turning off ads that aren't working. And a lot of times what you're going to see is the campaigns where you're spending the most money on are going to have something like this. Check this out. So I just dug into the sales data right here. And so check out this one guy that came in here. Okay. And so you can see this person right here, they click this ad first and they click this ad last. And all the time what you're going to see is your biggest campaigns in Facebook and AdWords, they can't see it because people are changing their phones. They're doing all sorts of wonky stuff in between the first and second click. And so what's going to happen is this guy's going to get the sale right here when this guy's the one generating. I've seen so many businesses where they're doubling and tripling down on this and their sales aren't increasing and they're leaving this guy alone. And what's happening is they're just spending, they're like losing all their money on this ad campaign right here and then not scaling the thing that's working. And so that's the thing that happens when you start guessing with what's working and what's not, is because what's going to end up happening is that's step number 2 to going out there and grow your business. Obviously, you want to be able to spot the winners and double down on them. And obviously, once you do that, all you do is you hop on over to your ad place and you just go and increase the daily budget. You don't have to, once you have the data, you don't have to actually do anything crazy. You just go and you don't even have to change your business. You just go, that's the one that's winning. That one's the one getting me a 600% ROI. And then we just double the ad spend and we make more money. That's it. So step 2 of all this, though, is we got to be able to stop spending money on the losers. The easiest way to make more money in your business, you don't even have to spot the winners. I'm just begging you right now, if you're going out there and guessing on your ads, 30% of the money is just being lit on fire. So if you're spending, let's say, $20,000 a month, you could just spend $14,000 a month and make the same amount of sales and give yourself a $72,000 per year raise. Like, that's the easiest way to grow the business. Don't even scale the winners. Just get rid of this. But when you're misattributing your sales, and this gets insane on a single traffic source. I'm showing you the single traffic right here. Okay, so first off, you're already missing all the sales. You're not able to scale the winners. But what happens is when you got multiple traffic sources, you got Google ads, you got your organic, and then you got Facebook, and then God forbid you have Instagram, you have all sorts of other stuff going on. You got ad roll. I have one business that has like 15 different traffic sources. What happens is these guys don't really talk to each other very well. Okay, unless you set up some really complicated stuff, and that it still doesn't track anything because they're missing all the sales. But what happens all the time is this. I see it all the time. So a person clicks on Facebook and then they don't buy anything, and then they go and search for the business on Google. And I don't buy anything. And then they go in organic and buy something completely unrelated. And then Facebook and Google give each other credit for that. Or there's some type of mix of this. I see that all the time. And so people are running, really large businesses are running campaigns where Facebook is telling them they're getting all sorts of sales, and they have all these ad campaigns they're spending $200, $500 a day on, and the ad campaigns are massively unprofitable. The bigger and more varied in traffic a business gets, the larger this starts to happen right here. And so what you first need to do if you want to solve this is you got to know where your sales are coming from and where they're not. So I showed you one example right there where I can just go in and see, all right, where's everybody been coming from, and where's the last click of the sale? And I can do all sorts of other depreciation models, but let's just look at the most basic. I need to be able to see which ones are losing me money clearly without a shadow of doubt. And I can see these ad campaigns right here losing me $100, $200 a day. That's $6,000 a month, by the way, being lost on that. This one right here losing me $1,000, $500 a day lost. That's $15,000 in wasted ad spend every single month if I keep this guy on. $100 a day lost, $300 or $150 a day lost, just $300 lost, $500 lost. Keeping these on right here. If I want to give myself a $100,000 a year raise, I just need to go in here and turn these off because these are the losers of losers. And that's exactly what I did. So if I want to fast forward right here, if you go and see when I started using this data and I fast forward to, let's say, July 9th right here, plug this in, hit calculate, and check this out. So in the previous example, I was spending about $6,000 a day to do about $11,000 a day cash, about $20-ish thousand a day gross. Okay, when payment plans and everything comes in, about $20,000 to $25,000 a day. And so you can see what I did right here is my sale amounts didn't drop. Okay, I was able to drop my cost down almost $2,000 a day. I was spending about $6,000, $6,500. Still same amount of sales coming in. Okay, still doing the same exact numbers coming in. And most importantly, when I come down here, you can see that I'm not losing big chunks on my ad losers anymore. When I'm going out there and testing, I only lose like 50 bucks here and there, 60 bucks. You're not seeing these gargantuan losses anymore. And the even cooler thing is I'm doing the same amount of sales for less money. So I just gave myself a huge, almost $60,000 per month raise. I can do a lot with $60,000. I can hire new staff. I can buy multiple office floors of a building. I can do all sorts of stuff with that. I can just go buy a typical internet marketer Lamborghini if I want with that money every single month coming in. And I want you to really think about in your business, where are the losers at? Do you know exactly where they're at? What if you just cut them? How much more money per month would that make you? How much more money per year? From simply just turning on tracking like this, and I'll show you to set up this tracking here in a second. And you can't even get this tracking right now. We're not even taking clients for this. I'm just showing you how big of a problem this is. Because if you don't know where your losers are, it's just throwing away hundreds of thousands of dollars for most people that are spending a lot of money on ads, at least tens of thousands of dollars per year, which is absurd. But here's the bigger problem. Okay, so I showed you before where Google is missing so many of the sales. It's missing so many of the sales coming in. And the problem here is when you have your pixels working, and excuse my ugly drawings, but what happens is actually really destructive to your business. It was to mine, and when I fix this, conversions shot to a whole other level. So what happens on Google and Facebook is you have your ads, and you also have your pixel, which triggers conversions. And what happens is when you go and get conversions, Google and Facebook AI works around what your pixel is telling them and optimizes your ads around the conversions of the pixel. So if you have a conversion over here, let's say it's a $100 product, what happens is every single time your ad triggers a sale, Google says to the AI, hey, this is what the customer looks like. This is what the customer looks like. If you don't know how AI works, it's really simple. It's all about the AI that has the most data. If we have two different AIs and one is working with 10 snapshots of data that's supposed to recognize, and another one has 1,000 snapshots of data it's supposed to recognize, the AI with 1,000 snapshots is going to win every single time. This is a lot of trouble if your competitor has this AI, and it's also a massive advantage if you're the one who has the better AI at finding your customers. These guys over here are going to be spending way more money because this one's kind of dopey, it doesn't know where to look. And so it's critical that you feed your AI as much data as possible and accurate data. If you have tons of customers coming in, here's the biggest worst part. If you have customers coming in, they come into your business and they buy something and it's not caught by Google, Google rules that person out. It says that's not what a customer looks like. And so it's actively hurting your ads at the same time. So it's a double whammy to your business. And so the problem is right here, remember my ads I was literally only getting, if I had 100 sales, I would have only caught 30 of them in AdWords. Well, I'm going to have a really stupid AI because it's missing most of the sales. It's not seeing all the data coming in. If I go out there and I feed 100 of those sales to the AI and say, hey, look, you're tracking mix this, but this is what the customer looks like, that AI is going to be 300% smarter at finding my customer for me. And what happens when it's 300% smarter? Well, there's one of two things. One, you can spend much less money on ads and get the same amount of customers. Or if I go and spend $100 on ads and I was getting $100 of sales coming in, I can easily go and spend $100 now and get $200. And in some crazy cases, $300. But you're going to see a significant increase when your pixel has that much more data to work with. Look, if Facebook or AdWords is only catching 70% of your sales and you're able to feed it that extra 100% of sales, that is still a 42% increase in your AI's intelligence. That's significant. And when you're spending $100,000, $50,000 a month, that 10%, 20% boost, that adds up a lot. That's again, tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars wasted every single year. Actually, millions in many businesses' cases. And remember all this data that I have right here that Google's missing, but I have? Well, I don't want that to happen. I want to give this back to Google so they can train their AI around what my customer actually looks like. And for the love of God, don't train their AI to ignore what my customer looks like. And so the cool thing is inside Hyros, which is the dashboard we've been using this entire time. I'll help you see how to set this up without Hyros, because again, we're not taking clients out the wazoo right now. And I can just go through my people that are coming in right now and say, oh, this is exactly where they came from, Google. If this person buys, like this person right here, I can see exactly that's what they came from. Pass this back to Google. Tell them that. And the crazy thing about this is there's a lot of talk around this, but there's not a lot of action you need to do. I can just go in here, go to AdWords, turn on automatic tracking, and it's just done for me. And that's actually it. That's all you need to do to save yourself that much time and pain and money. And when you have an AI that's working that much better, I can't imagine people run ads without this. Like, why not just go make another property tax payment or pay the IRS again? You're just paying Google and Facebook extra money to be less efficient. When you don't have to, you can just come in and flip a switch. There's also ways to do this without Hyros, which I'll get into at the end of the call. But this is how I solve it. I just kind of want you to be aware of this. And I realized that last step was comically simple, okay? The coolest part about it is actually the most simple part. So I want to show you something that is even more lethal. And this is what I like to call using your customer LTV. If you use this, this is the golden key right here, okay? What I just showed you will make you a lot of money. This will make you gargantuan loads of money. This has been my big secret for years. Okay, so here's exactly how this works. So when I track a customer's LTV, you must do this in your business if you want to grow long term. You see, what I'm most interested in is, let's imagine it takes me $5 to get a person in my webinar. Okay, and then I make $10 back. What I'm really interested in is how much money this person that came in right here is going to spend with me over 6 months. Okay, because this person right now might come in and spend $10 on average, but over 6 months, they might spend $50. And so I could actually spend $10 to get this lead right here. I could spend 15, I could spend 20, and I'm still doubling my money. But it's really hard to see this 6-month picture unless you're just using the 5-point tracking like I showed you. So I can go in here, and here's a lead gen campaign right here. I spent $26,000, and since then I've made $101,000 back. But you can see in the first month, it cost me about $5 to get a lead, and I didn't break even on the ads, not even in the first month. So this looks like a big failure. Okay, so if I was running these ads normally, and this is a giant failure for me, but if I kick this out over 3 months, I can easily see down to my ad set, down to my audiences, what people are spending the most with me long term. And so I can see, oh, okay, by week 5, I break even, and by week 13, I've tripled my money. And the people that are spending the most and tripling the money are coming from my advertising and converters and people looking for Facebook ad training ad sets. I don't want to be going and looking at these other ad sets down here, because if I look at all the reoccurring charges coming in and the payment plans, these are the people refunding the most. And so it's essential that I be able to see this, because first off, I can just stop marketing to the people that are not spending the most with me long term. And I can see, oh, wow, if I just can be patient right here, this is better than the stock market. This is like walking up to a roulette table where I know I'm going to triple my money over 3 months every single time. And this allows me to get super aggressive with my ads, because now I can see, oh, I don't need to limit myself to $5 CPLs. I can go to 10, I can go to 15, I can go to 20, and I'm still printing money. And that allows me to completely out-optimize and run way faster than my competitors. And just like that, I'm no longer trying to win the marathon with a cast on. Okay, while all my competitors are running with the cast on and guessing and messing up and wasting their ad spend and starting off the race with 30 to 50% of their ad spend already being wasted, it's very easy for me to beat them, because that gives me a 50% boost out the gate over them. And they can't scale at all, and I can scale, and that's exactly how my business slingshot. So I know what you're thinking right now. How can you set the same tracking up? How can you do this? All right, well, there's a few different ways. So first up, you can take all your sales, put them into an Excel sheet. You can get something that's super crazy expensive like Segment, and then it pulls all the data in, and you can have a data scientist go through your Excel sheets and map out where they first clicked and where they last clicked and put it all together. And then you're going to also have some other tools that you're going to have to use, like Heap and all. I don't even know how to set up this stuff, honestly, so I can't tell you how to do it with the data scientists and whatnot, because I don't do that. Now, you can also do what I did. All right, I talked about those 5 points. I'll even tell you right now: their email, their cookie, their IP, there's print tracking, and then their session ID. You got to map all those things together and record them at every single checkout, and when they come into the processor, and when they opt in, and every other part of your funnel. Okay, that's the thing that Facebook and Google don't do. It cost me about $35,000 to make that tool, and it still didn't work amazing, but that is also an option you can use. Now, option number 3, you can just go below this video and schedule a free attribution strategy call with me personally below, and I can show you to be tracked in minutes. I can show you how to put this all together. The thing is, look, I would love to sit on this call and say, all right, this is how you solve the tracking problem completely for every single business. But look, your business is super unique. You have different parts of your funnel. You're using all sorts of different tools together. There's no way I can make a one-size-fits-all blueprint in this video. So what I want to do is I want to offer you a free call below. And what I'm going to show you in this call is exactly where your winning ads are. I'll show you exactly where they're at. I'll show you exactly where your losers are and all your misattributions probably are. And I'll show you to get your data back into the ad platforms, no problem. And I'll show you even how to see your LTV so you can do that really cool calculation like I did a few minutes ago. And I'll just show you where all this is. It's not hard for me to do once I look at the business. And we've already helped tons of businesses just like yours. I showed you info businesses like Billy's. I showed you agencies running ads for their clients and influencers like Evan. I showed you big info marketers like John. I showed you big e-commerce marketers like Matt Smith. I showed you people running e-commerce ads for their clients like Ben. I showed you people running their e-commerce Shopify stores or any e-commerce store. We work with all of them, WooCommerce, whatever, seeing huge increases. All sorts of businesses just like yours. I do this all day. And if you're on the fence at all, let's just talk about the low end ROI on this quick call. What I want you to do is think about your monthly ad spend. Just take the general ballpark number, okay? And what I want you to do is apply what I'm about to talk about right here. Let's talk about just the lowest end results right here. And so in this example, I'm just gonna use 10K a month, imagining that 10K has a 2x ROI on the ads. So look, let's imagine we have $10,000 per month. You take your per month number. So what if we were able to save 10% from cutting losers? Well, that's an instant $1,000 profit increase from this $10,000 per month business. What if we can scale our winners, just spot our winners and scale just 10 more percent? That's another $1,000 profit increase. And what if we can go and we're not going to blow up the pixel training. We're not going to get some big 50% boost, which I have seen. That being said, let's say we just do 10% increase in the pixel accuracy. That's another $1,000 profit increase right there. When you combine all that together right there, that's a $3,000 per month profit increase. That's a $36,000 per year profit increase on a business that spends just $10,000 per month on ads. It's just $300 a day from this one call if we can isolate those sources, which I do every single day. It's very easy for me to spot them. And I usually see much bigger increases because once you see this data, it's not hard to pick a winner that's getting you 600% ROI and spend $500 more a day on it. That being said, the low end ROI can be gargantuan. This single call can be one of the highest ROI ways you can spend your time this entire year. And if you're a good fit, I may even ask you if you want to join Hyros. Now, this isn't some scarcity crazy, come join our secret club. We're just super focused on only working with a few clients right now. We want everybody to have a great experience, and we're literally not open. We're invite only because we like to work with high ticket, high tier clients, and then we'd like to make sure they get crazy results. And the only way we can do that is with personal intention. Okay, and they have to be specific types of businesses that have certain tools and fit in a certain way. And this sucks, okay? This sucks, but we can only work with so many types of businesses that meet a certain criteria. And then if you don't fit, I promise I will still show you how to fix many of these holes in your business and you will still get a substantial ROI from this call. Now, what I want you to do is go schedule your call below. It's first come, first serve. I'm the only person taking calls right now, so there is a limit to them. You will be talking to me on this call. And if the calls are maxed out, I only do them 3 days in advance. And as I'm shooting this video, this may have changed, but I only do them in the afternoons. They will fill up. It will fill up. And if you're on the fence right now, I just want to ask you, think about the alternatives. You can go and solve this combining 5 tools together with a data scientist. I know people that do that. Okay, I know people that do that. That was originally how this was done. This is exactly why I created my own tracking solution, because I can't do that. That's too confusing for me. You can go out there and spend $30,000, $40,000, but first you're going to have to understand how to hire developers and manage a software team. I know how to do that because I own a tech company, so it's probably going to cost you more. And I'm not trying to scare you right now. I'm just saying, like, we can just solve this on this free call. Like, you don't need to go do that. And also think about the ROI right here. I played the lowest numbers right here. I'm not talking 20%, 30% increases. I showed you how far off my tracking was, but I'm not going to say your tracking's off by 80% because I don't want to work with crazy big numbers. I want to work with just the lowest possible numbers right here. Let's talk about the worst case scenario. It is completely reasonable that if you go and just cut 10% of your losses, scale another 10%, and improve your pixel accuracy by another 10%, that you can see gargantuan results in your yearly profit increases by doing this. That's not crazy. Just think about your numbers right here. Think about how much you're spending per month right here, and imagine these 10% being applied in those areas. So it's not outrageous to think if you come on this call and you solve these problems and you increase in these 10%, you can do this number equivalent to your business. So all you need to do is go below and schedule a call. It's very simple. We'll hop on a call. I'll look at your business. I'll diagnose exactly where your losers are. I'll diagnose exactly where your winners are. And I'll diagnose exactly how to set up your pixel and how to see your LTV. And look, if you're not a good fit for hyros, I'll just tell you, I can't work with you. I don't want to work with people who aren't a good fit and we can't get incredible results for, but I will show you to plug these holes regardless. So go below, schedule a call. I'm super excited to talk to you. This has been Alex Becker, and thank you so much for your time today. I'll see you real soon. And that ad course, I promise, will also be sent to your email. We can track in Wistia whether you've watched or not. You'll see that in your email here very shortly, so thank you for viewing that as well. And that course, I'm going to tell you, it is everything I've done to scale these campaigns outside of the tracking, so that's a very valuable course. I would check it out. It's not some throwaway attendance bonus or some BS crap like that. It is literally a full-fledged course that shows you behind all my campaigns and everything I'm doing. I'm excited to show you that. I'm excited for you to be a bigger part of hyros in our company, even if you don't hop on the call today, even if you don't end up being a good fit for hyros. I'm super excited to get the training and get you started right there. So this has been Alex Becker. Super excited to talk to you in a little bit. Hope to be able to solve these for you because it's just ridiculous running ads without these, honestly, and I'll see you real soon.